2025 is going to be a huge year for Sacramento. First up, the A's are coming to West Sacramento for a 3-year or 4-year run before they jettison to Las Vegas. Maybe. As an A's fan myself, I'm not a fan of this. And if you're into extreme sports, the X Games are coming to Sacramento for the first time ever. This will be a 3-year run. And the Ironman will be coming to West Sacramento as well. Then there are the music festivals. Aftershock will be making its annual run in Sacramento. In 2025, it will be its 13th year. Aftershock is the biggest rock and heavy metal fest in the West. And Golden Sky, a country music festival, will be hosting its 4th year of existence, which happens the weekend after Aftershock. And for us personally, we are big fans of EDM music, and specifically artists under the Angina Deep and Angina Beats label. We just attended Burr at the Barn at Drake's in West Sacramento back on December 29th. And more events are coming in 2025. And this new venue, Channel 24, is coming to Midtown in 2025. It's going to be an epic venue with all kinds of concerts going on, run by Another Planet Entertainment. They know what they're doing. We are Sippy Cup Adventures of Northern California, and we are a niche travel channel dedicated to travel in Northern California, mostly. In this video, we will guide you through the best hotels in Sacramento, from budget-friendly spots to luxury stays, and where not to stay to make your visit to Sacramento unforgettable. And we'll speak of a hotel in Sacramento that is apparently haunted. So if you're into that, stick around. And at the very end of the video, even after my conclusion, I go on my rant about the A's moving to Sacramento. So if you're a baseball fan, you may want to stick around and hear it. If not, I understand. Oof. Okay, so let's start looking at hotels in the Sacramento region. And we're coming up I-80 from the west to the east. So if you're coming from the Bay Area, here's I-80. Basically, we're going to concentrate on 6 areas where there's a cluster of hotels. Right here, here, these 2, and right there. And let's start with the downtown area seen here in green. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off the green and we're going to add the hotels. Obviously at different price points. Now, staying in the downtown Sacramento area, you're in the heart of Sacramento, right? You're going to be able to experience many dining options, entertainment options, and I'm not going to get into the full dining and entertainment options. That'll be for another video, a later video. Now, if you're staying in the downtown area, a lot of places or venues that you're seeking to go to in 2025, you're going to probably have to ride share. But if you're there for a concert at the Golden One Center, home of the Sacramento Kings, or you're watching the Sacramento Kings, then the downtown region is definitely a stay for you. So yeah, there is the Doco Center, downtown Commons area. And in this view, there's not a whole lot of action going on. And it looks like, at the time they were under construction. But you can definitely, there's a whole lot to do. The first hotel we're going to talk about, which is probably the swankiest, is the Kimpton Sawyer. Now, the structure on top is all residential. And we did a staycation here in 2019 when it first opened. We actually got a room on the end where you see there's these balconies right here. We got the hotel because it was new and it was very inexpensive. We can't afford that hotel stay. Well, we can't afford to stay on the end room with the views like this. Yeah, so this was our view from the Kimpton Sawyer in 2019. Again, the hotel just opened. It was very affordable. It was like maybe $300. Just epic views looking west over the city of Sacramento and West Sacramento. And this is why we recommend the Kimpton Sawyer. It has this swanky poolside lounge on the roof, actually the 3rd floor. It's called Revival. At Revival, it has this open air feel when the weather is nice. You can have a variety of snacks and bites, oysters, tacos, or a burger. It's not a real extensive food menu, but there is also a full bar. Now, the pool is reserved for guests and the residents. but their hours are a bit funky, being that Revival is open to the general public. So there has been varying answers to this. The pool closes at either 4 or 6, which is when Revival opens, and it becomes a nightclub. Even though Revival does not label themselves as such, a nightclub, they don't want a big giant drunken pool party to start. Sort of like this footage. This footage is of the Kipton Sawyer. So clearly they have pool parties scheduled from time to time. So if you book a room at the Kipton Sawyer, you definitely want to call and ask about the pool hours. And as you can see by this, one, Patty's drink is nearly empty, but you get a good view of the downtown common areas and all its vibrancy. Also, we just recently did a staycation at the Hyatt Regency. Another great stay. They got Dawson's Steakhouse on the bottom floor, really good. There's also Emereth at the Hyatt. Kind of a swanky little cocktail bar that serves small bites. A fun place. So these are the two places that we have stayed in Sacramento. Those being the Kipton Sawyer and the Hyatt Regency. So we highly recommend these because we've stayed there. Got the Sheraton Grand right here. And the Citizen Hotel. Again, I'm not going to get deep into the prices of these and what they have to offer. This is just a standard, here are some hotels, right? You got the Hyatt Centric. Now inside the Hyatt Centric on the ground floor is the 7th Street Standard. We had lunch there one day, and it wasn't busy, but we visited, and they kind of pay homage to the old Clayton Club, old historic club in Sacramento. And speaking of the Clayton Club, on the roof there is the modern day Clayton Club. Little lounge on the roof, had some cocktails there. So I recommend the Hyatt Centric, even though we didn't stay there. And a little bit on the cheaper options, you've got the Holiday Inn right next to I-5, as well as the Vagabond Inn down right here. So if you do choose to stay in some of these downtown hotels, and maybe you're attending an A's game, you could walk across the Tower Bridge, and here is Sutter Health Ballpark, now home of the A's, as well as the Sacramento River Cats, a AAA team of the San Francisco Giants. So it is walking distance. Now, if you're planning on attending a concert at Discovery Park for Aftershock or Golden Sky, you're going to want a ride share. It says it's about a 48-minute walk from the downtown area. And if you're coming to Sacramento for the X Games, you're definitely going to have to ride share to Cal Expo. That's where the X Games will be, at Cal Expo. So now let's talk about the next area, and that's what's called the Riverfront area here in blue. Now there's only a couple of hotels, and the first is the Embassy Suites. The Embassy Suites always a good stay, reasonably priced. It is the best spot to stay if you're headed to an A's game. It's like a 10-minute walk. Embassy Suites. So definitely book that if you're heading for an A's game. The second place would be the Delta King. Yes, it's a hotel on this old boat, right? And the advantage of these, the Embassy Suites and the Delta King, is that you're right next to Old Sacramento. Old Sacramento is definitely worth visiting if you're staying in Sacramento. Bunch of restaurants, bunch of bars, certainly a bunch of history, all kinds of museum. The railroad, California State Railroad Museum, is tremendous. You don't even have to be a fan of the railroad. About the Delta King, I've heard that it's haunted. So straight off right here of AI Overview. Yes, some say the Delta King Riverboat Hotel in Sacramento is haunted. Employees have reported seeing the ghost of the ship's original captain and hearing phantom footsteps on the deck. Some say the theater rooms are particularly active, and others mention the man found hanging in his cabin. Some say the ship is haunted by 3 spirits who like to play with drinks and drain some camera batteries. So there you go. There's that if you're into that kind of stuff. Now the next cluster of hotels that we'll talk about are here in West Sacramento. Now, West Sacramento, let's see, let's put these hotels online. Now, not the most convenient of stays, but you've got an extended stay America, the Hampton Inn, and the Spring Hill Suites. Again, it's right off of I-80, not close really to anything, but you do have, if you're staying for an A's game, home to suites. Again, it's pretty close, there it is, to Sutter Health Ballpark. So these are all budget-friendly hotels. You can walk from home to suites to the A's game, but otherwise, whether you're going to Discovery Park, Cal Expo for the X Games, Kings game, you're going to want to drive or do rideshare from these West Sacramento hotels. Okay, so our next cluster of hotels, so to say, is going to be right here in the Cal Expo area. Let's click on these hotels. That would be Hilton Sacramento. We got the DoubleTree by Hilton, the Courtyard Sacramento Cal Expo, Town Place Suites, and the Fairfield Inn. So if you're wanting to come for X Games, this is where you're going to want to go. Walking distance to Cal Expo. Again, Cal Expo hosts the California State Fair, horse racing, and the X Games will be somewhere in this parking lot. Well, not in the parking lot, it will be inside Cal Expo itself. So again, this is called the Arden Arcade area because there's Arden Fair Mall right there. And your DoubleTree by Hilton. Let's take this off. Yeah, DoubleTree by Hilton. I think we stayed there a long time ago. You know, can't go wrong with a DoubleTree. And of course the Hilton Sacramento. Maybe a little bit more pricier than these budget hotels of the Town Place, the Courtyard Sacramento, and the Fairfield Inn. If you're going to Discovery Park, you can see it's not walking distance. So Aftershock, Country Sky, it's not walking distance. And it's clearly not walking distance to Sutter Health Ballpark. You're going to have to drive or rideshare along with the Ironman, which is going to be in West Sacramento as well. So the Cal Expo Arden Arcade area is strictly if you want to stay for, like I said, the X Games. Okay, so we're going to move from the Cal Expo Arden Arcade area to the cluster of hotels you probably don't want to stay at. And we are talking Jeboom Street and Richards Boulevard. Let's have a little chat about that. That's seen here in this red, okay? So we're going to take the red off. This area, the Motel 6, the Quality Inns, Best Western, Howard Johnson, La Quinta Inn. It's been known of areas of prostitution and homelessness. The area is still challenging. This is Jeboom Street right here, and this is Richards Boulevard. They have the Governor's Inn, they have an Executive Inn and Suites, and they have a Sure Stay right here. So this is Richards Boulevard. Here's I-5. It's very close to Discovery Park, home of Aftershock and Golden Sky. So you can definitely walk there by going across the Jeboom Street Bridge. And the point is that if you have options, I would choose other options. Listen, are the folks who are experiencing homelessness or partake in prostitution and drug use going to bother you? Likely not. Just go on business as usual. Just mind your own business. Don't worry about it. They're not going to bother you. But it just needs to be known that this area is a little bit challenging. The rooms are very inexpensive. Let's take a look at that, because what I want to do is compare them. Just up the street or up I-5 is what's called the town of Natomas, or the Natomas area. So in this area in blue, you can see how It's close to Discovery Park, and it's close to Jaboom Street. But this area is a little bit safer. Let's see. Got the Residence Inn, you got the Hilton Garden Inn, and you got the Courtyard Sacramento Airport. These three hotels in that region of Natomas. So they do kind of know the routine. If you go to Google, and you type in an area, a region, whatever, and you click on hotels, it gives you hotel prices, right? Well, here's a cluster of hotels on Jaboom Street. You can see their average price, 98, 63, 70, 64, so forth and so on. Then you just go up a half mile to Natomas, like the hotels I told you about, the Courtyard, 112, Spring Hill Suites, 141, 141, 106. So a few dollars more, which usually indicates a little bit better of an area versus a little bit more of a challenging area here on Jaboom Street. Now again, those prices that we just showed you, obviously those are just average prices, and it's as of today, early January, right? First week of January. Clearly, when Aftershock happens in Golden Sky, they will all be bumped up. The prices will be much more expensive, naturally. Now, on the Aftershock website, that those of you that attend Aftershock, I don't, but I know the ticket package process with my EDM events. But you got these hotel packages that Aftershock advertises for, and it says, here's the prices down here: 3 or 5 night stay, for instance, this pass and hotel package at your hotel of choice. So I don't know, maybe in the comments below, those of you that go to Aftershock, can tell me what are the hotels that they offer. I'm not going to click on that, but it's likely that they offer those hotels in the Natomas area on I-5, or the hotels in Jaboom Street, or maybe those downtown hotels. Whatever the case, those of you that are experienced at Aftershock, you need to get your tickets early, book your hotels, or else you're going to be in some other community. Let's talk shuttles. Well, the lack of, but most hotels are not going to provide a direct shuttle to these events. If they do in 2025, then they will be in the hotel packages opportunities within the event's website. Aftershock, Golden Sky, X Games. But from what I've researched, this has not happened in the past. There is a shuttle originating from Cal Expo to Discovery Park for a price. Well, the parking is free, but you have to pay for the shuttle. But that is pretty much for people that are just driving in for the day, and we're talking about hotel stays here in this video. Now, not all hotels offer free parking, and some may even have limited spaces. Hotels in suburban areas or along highways are more likely to offer free parking, and most, if not all, of these budget hotels in Sacramento offer free parking. If at your mid-range or luxury hotels, you may want to choose valet, and valet in Sacramento is half the price than valet in San Francisco. Now let's take the Embassy Suites just as an example, a mid-range hotel, right? I actually called them to find this out for you. Embassy Suites only has valet parking available. There's no self-parking. I'll explain that in a minute. And there's a good chance on a busy weekend that valet may be full, or maybe you check in later and no valet is available. So they have you park in either of one of these two lots. So again, just using the Embassy Suites as an example, again, they only have valet parking, which is $38 a night. There's no self-parking. That means there's parking lots. So there's one right there adjacent to the Embassy Suites, and then there's a parking garage in Old Sacramento that they will direct you to. So parking for the day is going to cost you around $28, so a little bit cheaper. Now, our recommendation is, if you're choosing a mid-range or luxury stay, is to look under hotel packages and call the hotel. It's often that any of the following can happen. You may only get charged $10 for valet, or they will have this option. So back on the Embassy Suites website, if you click on offers, all hotels offer these, twice the points, honors discount, AAA membership, military family rate, or these, park and stay, where it says Offer includes parking for one vehicle per room, so it's included in the package. Okay, so you're not going to call. You're going to go full Gen Z on us. So do this instead if you have to pay for parking when staying in Sacramento. This is the Park mobile app. It's a game changer. This is my boy Joseph from Drake's at the Barn. And from our last video, Joseph explained the parking situation. Download the app to find parking spaces. Don't be like this guy and have to go back to your car and re-up your parking space, right?
You're never gonna make it. It's
you can
too
reserve
late.
and pay for your spot from the app. You enter the Park mobile zone number and location information from the meter decal or the zone sign seen here, or scan the QR code. Plus, the city of Sacramento provides a range of discounted parking options through the app. Just make sure you have a plan ahead of when you arrive Sacramento at your hotel. Know what you're going to do for parking. Now, it's no secret that Sacramento gets hot during the summer.
Boy, it's hot. This is hot. Never got this hot in Brooklyn. It's like Africa hot. Tarzan couldn't take this kind of hot.
In 2024, the Sacramento region recorded the most days of 100-degree weather or higher by a wide margin, including a record 5 days in July of temperatures of 110 plus. Even the month of October in 2024 was the second warmest October on record. Get a hotel with a pool, clearly. So in closing, we just highlighted a few hotels and where they're located in relation to the event that you will be attending. We've concentrated on the hotels in the core of Sacramento and West Sacramento. There are 16,000 rooms available within Sacramento. If you still don't see what you're looking for, or rooms may already be booked, I encourage you to visit the Visit Sacramento website. For parking information, I highly recommend this website, which is from a restaurant in town. Great marketing, by the way. So I will put both the links down in the description. If you want to stick around and hear my rant about the A's move to Sacramento, it follows. Otherwise, thank you for watching Sippy Cup Adventures of Northern California, and we always appreciate you stopping by. So thank you for staying for my A's rant. Now, while speaking of my A's rant, in the background, my buddy Cheyenne here will be carrying on about the A's move. Cheyenne's YouTube channel, The Touchback, is a channel with tremendous coverage of sports history and topical issues with a touch of Sacramento history that is absolutely tremendous. Cheyenne is Sacramento born and raised, and yes, he talks A's and national sports stories of interest. But if you're a fan of Sacramento sports, then I highly recommend The Touchback, and the link will be in the description. Thank you, Cheyenne. Now the A's, I have my A's hat on, but once the first pitch is thrown at Sutter Health Ballpark on March 31st against the Chicago Cubs, the hat will be gone. Now this video is partially made for you because you're likely an out-of-town fan of some visiting team, so I'm hoping that Dodger fans, Yankee fans, Cubs fans, Red Sox, or even Giants fans, to name a few, are planning to come to Sacramento for a few games, and you need hotels, and you're also prepared to sit in 100-degree plus weather at Sutter Health Ballpark. I know there's going to be night games mostly, but it's still going to be warm. Fisher moving the A's to Vegas by way of Sacramento, it's just dumb. They're going from the 10th best media market that in the Bay Area to the 40th, or the worst media market, that being the size of Las Vegas. No one in Las Vegas wants the A's. I mean, they're expected to sell out the Vegas ballpark stadium of 30,000 people for 5 years straight to get all their money back and pay back all their loans. That's not going to happen. I mean, who's coming to watch the Miami Marlins play the Las Vegas A's on a Tuesday afternoon in 120-degree weather in Las Vegas? Now, the part staying in Sacramento for 3 to 4 years is like the jilted lover, right? Hey baby, I know we're gonna get divorced. I got this new side piece, but I can't move in till she gets her son's family to move out. So I just got to stay with you for a little bit more, if that's okay. Come on, Sacramento fans.
Not spell Sacramento without the A's, or can you? That has been the recent scuttlebutt after the Oakland Athletics came out and told everyone that they were no longer the Oakland Athletics, nor were they going to be the Sacramento Athletics. Instead, the team is simply going to be known as the Athletics. No mention of the River City anywhere in the name, not in a single way, shape, or form.
Yes, thank you, Cheyenne. So as you see, Sacramento A's are just going to be known as the A's, or the Aths, the ATHs, right? Now, most expect the A's to actually be competitive in 2025, as they've actually signed some high-price free agents because they had to. It's motivated by avoiding a grievance with the Major League Baseball Players Association, as their payroll has to be 150% of the $70 million they received in revenue sharing. So if they don't reach that threshold in payroll, then they don't get the revenue sharing. So they overpaid for some of these high-priced free agents. They did just re-sign Brent Rooker, or extended his contract, which is a good thing, and something that they've never done. But if the A's even make the playoffs, which they could in the weak American League West, as is expected in 2025, Sutter Health Park isn't going to host playoff games. It's too small. So there's my A's rant. Thank you to Cheyenne from the Touchback. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.